Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Neighbor Show. I am your one co-host, Lamont,
And I am the second one, Drizzy Dre.
and we are welcoming you back to the Good Neighbor Show. And remember, you can always be you with us.
All the time, 24/7.
25/8.
All day, every day. So, today's topic is going to be learning to be direct. Now, I just had a conversation with him off camera, and I felt like this was very needed because over the last 2 weeks, I was told that I had to work on my communication. So, and being direct was one of the situations. So I felt like this was probably a good take to talk about while we talk about growth, personal development, self-development, and why also both me and this young man over here are transitioning into being great businessmen
Leaders.
and leaders. I felt like this was needed to be direct. Shout out to the person that called me out on it. I'm not upset. Definitely a learning curve and a learning experience. So
Usually when we get called out with some of the stuff that we go through, we usually don't see it. And then at the same time, it may be needed and it may be wanted. But at the same time, what it all boils down to is sometimes we don't want to hear it. Or sometimes it may be fraudulent.
yeah.
Maybe what you see isn't the same of what we are going through, and you're on the outside looking in, not understanding what's actually going on.
True. But please, let's not get twisted. We all have work to be worked on every day.
We are a work in progress.
Definitely. So, again, not throwing nothing on there, but to be direct and learning to be direct. I pulled up some stuff, and I also was told some stuff. So the first thing is being mindful. A lot of times, I'm very bold and blunt. I don't really think about the other person when I decide to open my mouth and talk a lot of times.
Right.
And no excuse. Mostly because the people that I talk about or talk with, I've been around for numerous years, so they kind of know where I'm coming from with that. But now that I'm transitioning into a different direction of business and places and things like that, there is some sort of adjustment that needs to be made. Not a lot, but some. So I noticed that I have not been mindful with my tone or just being mindful at all, just being blunt. So that's one of the things that you need to work on when it's coming to being direct and learning to be direct. Only because I say you don't want to hurt another person's feelings, not knowing if they're sensitive or what their sensitive levels are.
Or ostracize them from
Correct.
what they may be not used to. We come from I've learned that we come from a different kind of, we all come from different kind of backgrounds. And some of the backgrounds that we come from, some are very stern, some are very aggressive.
Yep.
Some of us hide our pain with laughter or jokes or dark humor.
Emotions, definitely.
So it's to find someone that can understand all of those within you and understand that it's not I wouldn't say taken seriously, but it's who you are as a person. Yeah. It's your personality.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to be taken seriously.
Especially if you are a type of person that don't know how to truly vocalize yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've been kind of shut down a lot in your life. You know, we in a world now all of a sudden where a lot of people can't take straightforward. A lot of people can't take seriousness. So, you know, some of us say some profound stuff and then it's like, then people start jumping into it and start wanting to talk about it and discuss it. So that's one of the things that I seen within myself, and I see that that's being mentioned, is being mindful. Did you have anything?
Other than being mindful and understanding what we are, some of us are trained a little bit different. It's not that we don't care about the other person's feelings. It's just that we are used to being blunt and direct in certain ways that certain people are understanding.
Yeah.
For me, for instance, I come from a great home, come from a beautiful home. Both parents was in the crib. But when I joined the military, my demeanor changed a little bit. My humor got a little different. The way I acted and the way I maneuvered was a little bit different. Did that take away the foundation that was given to me and how I act and how I move? No. But at the same time, that was just the foundation. The walls that and the roof that was created after that is what made me become who I am. Mm-hmm. Is my foundation crumbled and who I am as a person? Absolutely not. But there were other things that made me become a man that you weren't around to see for me to have that injected into me. So it's very different, and that's for me personally. And I know for some people it's the same way if you grew up in certain urban environments. If you grew up in a suburban environment, certain things, a certain way that you talk to people, some people may look at you different. Oh, you talk suburban. Oh, you talk urban.
Yeah.
All those things are the foundation that created you. But at the same time, if I decided to go outside of that, it doesn't make me less of a person. Yeah. It doesn't change who I am. It just basically opened me up to a more versatile way of thinking and not just one lane.
Correct.
Boom.
Correct. So while we're talking about learning to be direct, let's learn about how to be direct without being rude, which is almost kind of not necessarily the same thing, but let's just add that in there. When people start asking about feedback, you really want to be not too straightforward and say, that conversation was trash, you took too long, need to shorten it up, fix yourself.
Because sometimes somebody just may need an ear.
But I also learned because he can take that type of talk, other people may not be able to take that type of talk. So you have to be really empathetic with making sure that you are talking to a person. Be empathetic and make sure that you're reading the person that you're talking to. That's the best way of putting it. You know what I mean? Because if you don't know the person you're talking to, literally the most easiest thing will offend them. Point blank, period. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that I learned with being direct without being rude. I can be rude a lot of times to certain people that don't understand where I come from or my demeanor. Mm-hmm. But then I also learned that that's not also for everybody.
Correct.
That may be for people
that's
close to me, that know me for 15 years, 10 years. They know where I come from. And they also know if it gets a little too overboard, they be like, that one was a little too harsh. And so, and I feel it. I'm like, all right, I get it. I'll bring it back down. So by all means.
Because sometimes it becomes so normal.
Yes. It becomes so normal that you don't know that you probably escalated.
You took it to another level.
Different heights.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So just please be empathetic with what you say to people. It can be led to being harsh, and that's not your intentions.
Right.
So again, just learn to kind of keep it cool.
Keep it cool.
And keep your words to yourself and around certain people and places.
Right. And at the same time, you want to acknowledge their perspective as well.
In a good way.
In a good way. Even if you disagree with their viewpoint, you know, you still kind of want to acknowledge their feelings as well. Even when they're trying to like open up to you and let you know that they're letting you know how they may feel about certain situations, you might want to come out and be like, yo, that's a bunch of total BS, or you're in the wrong. Mm-hmm. But you still have to hold back and maybe listen and maybe give your opinion, but not be able to give it to them so aggressively where you don't dishonor their opinion.
Lastly, something that I need to really, really work on now that I think about it is be considerate and use the I statement.
The good old I statement.
Yeah. Instead of saying you, or yous all need to stop. I learned with that, a lot of people used to say, why are you adding me with other people? Why are you throwing me with the other mix? And it's like, well, because y'all all. But in a sense, I have to express my opinion with I think that you are doing XYZ versus saying you all need to just figure this out because you all in XYZ. So you have to be very considerate and aware.
And with that I statement, you want to frame your feedback around your own observations and feelings. And this helps avoid a lot of accusations.
Let me say that. Is it feelings or is it facts?
That's true story.
Is it using an I statement with facts or is it using an I statement with feelings?
I think it depends on the person that you're trying to explain it to.
Because if we're thinking about people that feel like you're too harsh and you're too whatever brash about certain situations, maybe we need to go on it with a fact versus a feeling. That way they don't feel.
But you know,
I guess you're right.
You know how that goes, though.
It depends on the person,
and you know how it is, especially nowadays. It's facts over feelings, but then you have some that are going feelings over facts because it's about how I feel.
Yeah.
So if I feel a certain way and you hit me with facts, how I feel is definitely going to trump over the facts, and I'm either going to just be like, I'm going to dismiss it, or I'm just not, or I'm going to be aggressive in conversing with you.
Yeah.
So the whole facts over feelings situation is also a big thing, especially now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things are getting put on that are true statements, and some people don't care about that because of their feelings are trumping what that situation is.
We just talked a little bit about some of that stuff. You are 100% right on that one. You definitely right on that one because we just spoke on some stuff off camera about facts and feelings and what we seen versus what people perceive or what we know what happened.
Their perception is their reality.
Like we know what happened, but they, so again, this is pretty good to speak on because a lot of us, we don't speak direct. We know how to speak indirect. And a lot of times we speak indirect because we don't want to hurt people's feelings or we don't know how to communicate properly. And it can lead to worse things. It can actually hurt you more than it can help you being indirect. And I learned that even if it's going to hurt somebody, being direct is the best way to go. So if you have not learned how to be direct, I guess these are some startups, key points that can help you start becoming a little bit more direct without being an a-hole, that they would say.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. So again, just when it comes to being direct, just be very concise and clear and watch your tone, and definitely 1000% be mindful about the other person feelings and brain of who you're talking to.
And I got one on that goes with that also as well. Even though their feelings may try to up the facts altogether, and you may be right. The for you to be a bigger person or a better person is flip it and put yourself in their shoes and see where they may be coming from, because they may be coming from an emotional standpoint, and you have to understand that their emotions isn't making them think logically. So then that's when you have to be the person that sees that and catch it before it happens.
True. And
then act accordingly to how they act. So even if it means you have to be a bigger person to, I won't say dumb yourself down, but to kind of like lower yourself to understand where maybe this conversation isn't going to go where I want it to go. So I don't like doing, and you have to do the, okay, that motif. I'm listening. My fault. My Luffy brim. My Luffy brim.
Which is dope. I like it.
My Luffy brim.
I always let that happen. I let that happen.
It's not that I'm not listening to you and I'm understanding what you're saying, but it's not that it's just going in one ear and out the other. It's just that I'm listening, but I am not absorbing what you're saying because it's not fulfilling to what the actual situation is.
I want to add on to that too, because you mentioned being the bigger person.
Yes.
And when you said that, something triggered in my brain with, where did you come with being so harsh? Where did it come from, or where did it possibly come from? And I can honestly say I believe it started with me always being the bigger person for so long that you get tired of sparing, that you just say whatever it is you want to say out your mouth because you're tired of sparing people and being a bigger person. But again, I said it before, it will hurt you more than it will help you, because
what they call it nowadays, standing on business.
Standing on business, right? So maybe when you stand on this business, and especially myself, maybe being a bigger person needs to be added into that equation again. Is I have to be the bigger person and not argue back. I have to be the bigger person and not go full into this argument. I have to be the bigger person and watch my tone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So even though I don't want to, because I feel like I'm being a lesser person,
it's better to.
It just saves us both.
It saves both, because sometimes you have it where you see it before it can happen.
Yeah.
You got that Minority Report mindset. I see it before it happens, so I catch it, and for me to let it get any extra, I see it. I know it's going to happen. I know I was already pre-planned. I'm not even going to take it to that level.
Or entertain
it at all.
Yeah.
Because I know how it's going to go. So then that's when you may get that, got you. And then I won't give you, if I give you the full blast, you're not going to accept it. So then I got to spoon feed it to you.
Yeah.
Because you won't accept it straight and to the point. I have to give it to you. And I have to spoon feed it to you to see how you accept it. It's the airplane with the baby. You know what I'm saying? As you're going to take it. As you're going to take it. And then I realize that, you know what I'm saying, that you don't want it. You turn your head. I can't give it to them full blast because they ain't going to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
But if I see that you're willing to take it and then you eat that applesauce, then all right, I know how much I can give you. Yep. I know I'm on levels with how much game or how much mindset of what I'm trying to tell you I can give you.
Yep. This is a good conversation, man, because even as we're talking, it gave me a better sense of the conversation that I had earlier with somebody moving into today's conversation about this. And
that's why we are here.
Yeah, it gave me a little bit more clear. And I apologize, and not to that person, but I apologize to everybody that I ever made feel less of a person. I actually been told that I've been mean quite a lot, like 5 times maybe this year, or within the last year rather, because it's the new year. Actually, let me not say that like it was a lot. It was really like 2-3 people that really told me I was just being mean. But throughout the years, though, I always thought that I was just being playful, when a lot of my sisters and them be like, "Oh my God, Dre, you so aggy," when I used to say something. But I was more so probably being rude during my direction of words. So again, somebody earlier today, they mentioned, talking all the time in a professional level. And I kind of like that thought, talking in a professional level at all times. So for me, maybe for other people, maybe that may be a direction you want to go. If you're always professional, like in job interviews, or if your boss or whatever.
Sometimes you just got to keep it professional.
Just constantly just keep it professional.
Everybody
24/7.
Everybody isn't willing to get the full you.
Correct.
And for those that are willing to get the full you, those are the ones that you keep close to.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
But still respect the other people that, you can't give your full all to. Still give them the respect that they deserve. But just understand that
you're limited.
You're very limited, and you probably going to have to get the 99, 100% professional Dre versus because the professional Dre is still loving, still caring, still thoughtful. You know what I mean? It's just maybe the humor that comes with me don't fit in a business portfolio, and which means that may not fit within our portfolio of people. So
I can dig that.
You know what I mean? So everybody's not fit to be around everybody, and everybody's not meant to be around everybody.
This is longer than what we expected.
No, I think it's right on time.
Because even when you start to make that change, then that's when the people that you're around start to say things. When you start to become focused, when you start to become determined, you're not acting like your normal self, or you're quiet. Like how sometimes when you be like, yo man, you good? You tired? You know, you sick or something? We both can tell when someone is going through something. But that may be something that has to deal with us internally, dealing with a sickness or something. But when it comes to the mindset of having that issue, you're not as talkative as you used to be. You're not as humorous as you used to be. Because sometimes, guess what happens? Focus has to come into play sometime in our life. We can't be hee ha ha all the time. So if it's down to the brass tacks and balls to the wall, and you see that attentiveness and that assertiveness, it's not that we're changing. It's because there's something that clicked into us that says there is something that needs to be done. Don't take it to heart. Understand that there is something going on. Respect it and keep it moving. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll be like, maybe the next day or two. Maybe this is how I am about to become now. But at the same time, it is not a jab at whoever it may be. It's just that sometimes you are seeing the greatness and the transformation happening in front of your eyes. So understand that that's what it could be.
I got that. So, everybody, we would like to thank everybody for coming, watching, listening. We appreciate everybody, as always. We love you all. Like, comment, and subscribe below. And I'm going to let my brother, say some encouraging words and let us up out of here.
What's going on, everybody? It's Lamont, Good Neighbors. We are here to not only help and uplift you guys, but also encourage ourselves. And with encouraging ourselves, we're all going through transformations. And within those transformations, we are learning to not only better ourselves, better other people, just better whatever we can. This is why we're the Good Neighbors, because we want you to be you with us and grow and prosper. Just remember, we're all here to change. You're not meant to be one way. Change.
Amen. Have a good one.